I post to SME. I've done a few radio programs. I know that it's been around, a couple of them have been around the anonymous sites.
Yep. And did you say that you used to be a Scientologist?
Yeah.
Ex-Scientologist?
In fact, I was the one, I worked directly with David Miscavige. I was the one that actually took his, the corporate sort-out proposal, you know, with Church of Scientology California and RTC and all that to Miscavige for approval back in '81. I've seen him beat people, spit on people, choke people, slap people. He's a sociopath.
I will, don't worry. Boston Scientology, that's what I post under.
In any event, I left it in '84.
Alright.
And then they had to go with my daughter, and that was their last mistake as far as my family goes.
And so you've been against them ever since?
Yeah, well, no. What it was I've only started looking at the internet in the last year and 2/3.
Yep.
I was just quiet and off the lines.
Internet as in...
The internet as in ARS or Clambake or any of those sites that expose Scientology crimes. And I didn't go on any of them. And about a year and 2/3 ago, or a year and a half or so ago, I started to, and the first thing I saw, like on, it was on Jerry Armstrong's website. I saw declarations that David Miscavige did in courts in the Church of Scientology California versus Wallerstein case, and another one in the '90s where he completely perjured himself.
Yep.
Completely perjured himself about what he and Hubbard did on the corporate sort-out, and he said he wasn't involved in the corporate sort-out. He not only was involved, he was the one I had to take it to for a final approval. Anyway, when I started digging into that, it just kept getting worse and worse, and I started seeing the stuff that had happened.
Contradicting what you're seeing with your own eyes a couple centuries ago?
Yeah. Not quite that old, 2 centuries, but a couple decades. But yeah, it completely contradicts exactly what I've seen with my own eyes. I mean, and the guy has majorly perjured himself throughout at least 2 major cases in the '90s and another case shortly after that. And in a lot of filings, I started looking up their filings to the IRS, where they would say who was running things and who wasn't running things, and I knew the people. And
knew them again. You knew their names from being in the church, or you knew familiar faces that you were working with.
They were people I was working with. I was on what was called Watchdog Committee, and I was what was called Special Unit IC. Like Marty Rathman used to work for me as Special Unit Litigation, and Heber Gents, who's the president of the CSI, he worked in my PR division. He was, at the time he was a really good guy, but in any event, we did this sort of external affair type stuff with respect to their corporate work, and and I'm real familiar with the other guys that were at the top of the church, like Mark Yeagers and Mark Ingbers and Guillaume Leserve and people like that. And Miscavige, I have direct information. Some I saw in the '80s, but also stuff that I've heard from other people who are out now, where he's taken over all of their jobs. He's beaten all of those people. He has them in penal camps. Meanwhile, he's filing with the IRS and in courts saying that he's not running Scientology. He's just like this ecclesiastical advisor off to the side. It's completely bull.
Well,
anyway, if you listen to my radio programs that are on Mark Bunker's site and on Lermanet, on the first radio program from November, it pretty much explains what happened back on that corporate thing. Kind of gives a broad overview.
How did you find out about this event that was going down today?
I came to the February 10th one. As a matter of fact, I was kind of hoping. There's Gerard Brennan. I'm hoping that he'll talk to me.
I was here February 10th.
I was right over in that corner. In fact, I'm on. If you go to inturbulation.org, for all the stuff about February 10th videos, there's one where it says Larry Brennan. It shows me being interviewed over there. There were a couple of, like Boston Now and another one that did articles on the Anon raid. And they quoted me on a couple of them. And in fact, that guy right there, Gerard, said that I was lying and looking for my 10 minutes of fame, and I wrote a poster that's been all over the internet.
Which one over there?
Gerard is the one on the right.
Yeah, they were all saying that. I don't know.
And he was the one, he's a board member here, which has no power. He's a PR guy. But he's ex-GO, he's done a lot of dirty tricks and stuff. And he said to Boston Now, when I spoke up defending Anon, that I was lying about all the abuses and all that stuff, and I was looking for my 10 minutes of fame. So I did a posting all over the internet challenging him to come out and speak with me, and I'll go on any public forum with data about Miscavige and what's really happening inside the Church of Scientology.
I found this really cool that we're being able to speak to an ex-Scientologist, someone here that knows what's going on inside of the church, rather than majority of people have never even been affected by Scientology, you know?
Well, not directly, but yeah. There's a lot of people. I mean, I know a tremendous amount of people, like even on like this ex-Sea Org, this Yahoo site for guys that were in the Sea Org and are now out. I can't tell you how many of these people have...
sound so far-fetched and wild.
I can't tell you how many people have lost their sons, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, that have disconnected from them because they speak out or they refuse to do any more Scientology.
How do you feel speaking to us when
I'm trying to get... I wrote a posting to that guy, Gerard Renna, saying come and talk with me publicly, and I'll go on TV, I'll go in front of the press, I'll be interviewed.
And he doesn't want anything to do it?
He won't even answer my stuff.
Like what Mark Bunker did, he said he would discuss, they haven't responded to him.
Yeah, and I did the same offer for Gerard, but after, on my interviews February 10th, here, well actually right across there, when I spoke out defending Anon and saying this was when I was asked by the, I think it was Boston Now, it was Boston Now or the other one, they're both in my site, in my posting.
And I'm recognizing you now from the Boston Now.
When he said, well,